Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report. Coming up, we get to this. Which one of these 6 teams will get a chance of a lifetime and wrestle for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship? We'll have a no one Contenders Gauntlet Match, like tag team turmoil between these 6 highly popular tag teams. Who's going to advance? Talk about it. Also, too, LA Knight puts his no one contendership for the United States Championship against Logan Paul at SummerSlam online against Santos Escobar. Can Santos realize the dream and become United States champion? Is he one step closer? Or can LA Knight maintain his control and keep his no one contendership? We'll talk about it. Also, too, this Nia Jax teams up with Tiffany Stratton to take on WWE Women's Champion Bayley in Michigan. Nia Jax is the queen of the ring, as well as Tiffany Stratton has Miss Money in the Bank. She can cash in anytime she wants. But we know that Nia will challenge Bayley at SummerSlam for the undisputed women's championship as well. We're going to get to that, all that and more, as the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report. And it starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kiddy Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe if you can. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Man, oh man, we are merely 1 week away for SummerSlam. We be like a week SummerSlam coming up. So let's not waste no time whatsoever. Let's get the Pro Wrestling Show started right here on SmackDown. And we kick things off with this. General Manager Nick Aldis sets a ultimatum for the Bloodline. The Bloodline saying this, that they want to compete in that huge gauntlet match we talked about earlier. But General Manager Nick Aldis saying it wouldn't be the best for Tom Leola to wrestle, as the GM had a lot on his plate last week with Cody Rhodes, even to the point of with LA Knight and Logan Paul contested in their situation as well. So we was gonna general manager just trying to keep law and order at stake, but Law and Order just can't run with him. Well, the Bloodline came out there and gave him a solution to the answer. Solo saying, hey, we'll take Taylor O'Lynn out, but we'll put the Savage, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, the Savage, as you know, came out there, and Jacob Fatu he's hungry. He's willing and able. He wants to destroy any and everything in his sight. He's like a one-man destruction crew. Jacob Fatu will team up with Tomatonga, and Tomatonga will and Jacob Fatu. Could they win? We'll see. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show coming up soon. So hey, we're gonna go with that a little bit later on. But we go with this. The match that even LA Knight went against Santos Escobar. LA Knight and Santos Escobar went 1-on-1 for LA Knight's US Championship title spot. Could Santos realize the dream? Santos always wanted to become US champion, but didn't have the tools that he needed. He blamed everybody around him, Rey Mysterio and everybody. I think Santos might have to just cut some meat and stuff. Cut back the fat and stuff on what he has to do. But Santos did so. Santos went against LA Knight in a highly competitive match. The match was competitive at the end. I can tell you that right now. Santos, his situation and stuff. Santos tried to do everything he could to cheat and everything he could, but it still wasn't enough. And Santos lost his opportunity for the to go for the US championship after he had that confrontation with LA Knight. And I think it just didn't register, it just didn't ring up a storm. I say that right there. I think Santos kind of has to. I think he probably can turn babyface, but it just wasn't enough. But LA Knight kept his spot and kept his title shot in contention. Well, Logan Paul came out of nowhere and attacked LA Paul and nailed him. Logan Paul sent a message to LA Knight that he's going to continue on with his he's close to becoming the third longest reigning United States champion. Logan Paul on a streak. I mean, Logan Paul on a streak, and I can say that right there. Logan Paul, he's looking forward to his match against LA Knight at SummerSlam. And the one thing, on a big side note, Logan Paul, that prime energy drink, that is the best energy drink I ever tasted in my life. It's really, really good. And I don't endorse any and everything, but with Logan Paul with that drink and stuff, come on now, Logan Paul. LA Knight might have to put his works, got his self into a puzzle with Logan Paul. We'll see these two at SummerSlam for the US Championship, and can LA Knight crown himself the new United States champion? We'll see at SummerSlam coming up. So we'll see at that. Also, too, we see this the 6-man match, the 6-pack match that went on after we saw that Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, which really didn't make no sense to me. They kind of was, I guess, put together at the instance, and Corbin went and Apollo Crews, they were both, if you say that 3 years ago, they were both healed. Now they baby faces. Just trying to find something to do. Then we just left down my fast Tasma, Brocho and Angel. Corbin and Apollo Crews won that, but then they went against the OC. Then the OC won that. Then the Street Profits came out there. Street Profits beat the OC. Then the Street Profits beat Pretty Deadly. And then the final team was the Bloodline. The Bloodline with Jacob Fatu. The Street Profits did try to put up a fight, but it wasn't enough for them. So you can tell right here, Jacob Fatu is a savage alone. He took out the tag team champions a couple of weeks ago on his own, and you got to wonder about Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is just a savage. Jacob Fatu is an animal. Jacob Fatu listens only to what Cody Rhodes tells him to do. And Jacob Fatu, one thing I can say about Solo has found him a hired gun and enforcer. And Jacob Fatu does everything you want him to do in the ring. And I just feel sorry for the tag team champions. Next week they're gonna have this is gonna be their first test as tag team champions for Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano as tag team champions. How you going to beat Jacob Fatu after he had tried to decimate y'all a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown? Jacob Fatu wants to get the job done, and lo and behold, Jacob Fatu could be a champion in WWE months after him debuting in WWE. Jacob Fatu could be a tag team champion one way or another. I can believe that one thing right there. So we'll see. But we know next week, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu will challenge DIY for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And DIY find a way, and they got to strategize real quick in a hurry, because one thing about Jacob Fatu doesn't wait on no man, nothing, and anything, and nothing like that. And I'll tell you that right there. Jacob Fatu looking for some revenge one way or another. I can tell you that right now. Jacob Fatu ready to get the clap back. I'll tell you that right now. So we know that next week, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu will set to challenge for the tag team championship. That's going to be a match right there that many people are buzzing about, caring about right there. So we'll see. Well, Cody Rhodes had a message that he wanted to send. Cody Rhodes is in Japan right now. Cody Rhodes wanted to send a message to the crowd that he hasn't forgotten about what went down a couple weeks ago when we told you that when the bloodline decimated Randy Orton a couple of weeks ago, almost nearly 2 weeks ago, and left Randy out laying. Randy Orton, we haven't heard or seen Randy Orton in a couple of weeks. We know that Randy Orton is out of commission. What this is going to do for Randy Orton coming forward with that, but you can tell that that the bloodline are dominating everybody in their sights. Even last week when Kevin Owens got decimated as well, Kevin Owens got decimated and one day by KO. KO didn't see it coming. Tell you that right now. The bloodline taking down any and everybody in their sights. What they want to do, and they did to Kevin Owens a couple of weeks ago, last week, by taking him out and putting him on the shelf. And I think Kevin Owens might have to realize what he's gonna have to do. I tell you that about Kevin Owens. You better have a Cody Rhodes better have a plan. Cody Rhodes gonna do what he need to do what he we see. Wait a minute, bro. As we see right here, Cody Rhodes sent a message to Japan that he is coming and he's gonna bring it coming forward. Well, we know that Cody will have a face. Solo accepted the face to face, so we know next week before their championship match at SummerSlam, Cody and Solo will meet face to face in the middle of the ring, and we're gonna see how this is gonna go eventually. So, so yes. So we know that next week we'll see that coming up. Where we get to the main event. The main event was for coming up. Nia Jax teamed up with Tiffany Stratton. Nia and Tiffany Stratton have formed such an alliance that the Queen of the Ring and Miss Money in the Bank want to target Bayley, who is the WWE Women's Champion and Mission. But throughout the whole entire match, Nia Jax, we told you last week that Nia Jax had her sights set on trying to destroy Bayley, soften up Bayley, because she wants that women's championship and she wants it one way or another. So we could see that being that way. And Nia and I'll tell you that Nia Jax looking forward. And she pinned Bayley. Nia pinned Bayley. And you see right here. You see right here. Nia Jax pinned Bayley in the center of the ring. Get the 1, 2, 3. Would this be an omen? As we get a preview of what we're gonna see at SummerSlam, we could see that being that way at SummerSlam for Nia Jax and Bayley. Could Nia Jax leave SummerSlam with the WWE Women's Championship? That's the only question everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to ask about. So we could see that being the possibility. Nia Jax has the power, has the strength. Nia Jax looking forward to doing what she needs to do to defeat Bayley and become the next WWE Women's Champion. Only time will tell. We will see coming up at SummerSlam. So that ends the SmackDown Ring Report. Let's move over to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we want to tell you this: that Ronda Rousey, a former multi-time WWE Women's Champion and UFC champion, is currently expecting her second kid. Ronda Rousey made some noise this earlier this year about leaving WWE and its former chairman, Mr. McMahon, and the environment and everything else wasn't in her standing. So Ronda Rousey um leaving leaving WWE, and she's now announced she's pregnant. So congratulations to Ronda. Well, we heard this. Beth Phoenix is no longer with WWE. She has no longer has a contract. Beth Phoenix, as we know, that her husband Edge is signed with AEW. He has been signed with AEW since last year, and now Beth Phoenix has the same thing going on. So Beth Phoenix no longer signed with AEW. No sign with WWE. I mean, say, can she sign with AEW? Who knows? Well, we know this. CM Punk has enemies along and afar. Now we know that Jungle Boy Jack Perry was the reason he left AEW, and now CM Punk's in brawl in the feud with Drew McIntyre. Could we be seeing what's going on? Do they don't want CM Punk in the wrestling business? Is CM Punk a cancer, or they claim to be? Who knows? But CM Punk may have to really chew his words, because if you got enemies on both ends, something ain't right. But who knows? But Jack Perry and Drew McIntyre share the picture with each other. Perry and Drew McIntyre. We don't know what's going on. Even Kenton chimed in, so there's a lot going on with that. You got to wonder what's going on. Well, we know this, that Triple H went to London to meet with its mayor to bring WrestleMania to London. There's been ongoing talks by the game and WWE President Nick Khan and Triple H, the chief content creator and head of creative. Could Nick Khan and Triple H bring WrestleMania over the pond? That's a case that everyone wants to see and everyone wants to hear. But even John Cena, the champ, we got John Cena's reaction, what he said earlier. John Cena really shed some light that he wants to bring. Remember Money in the Bank? Cena shed some light that he wants to bring Money in the Bank WrestleMania to London, in London, England, and this could be the almond that it needs to come to WrestleMania and stuff. And this is what John Cena had wrote right here, and then I quote right here what John Cena quoted. Cena said this: "On the city of London and all the UK fans have supported WWE throughout thick and thin. I'll try to minimize the word deserve, so I'll use more properly. They earned it. So who knows? Could Cena make an appearance at WrestleMania? We know that WrestleMania next year, 2025 in Las Vegas, will be his last, he says. But could John Cena make an exception and wrestle at WrestleMania? Who knows? We'll see. Well, we also forgot this on here, that Carmelo Hayes tried to outsmart Andrade until he wants another match against Andrade. Andrade told him that, hey, you're not LeBron, as Carmelo thinks he is. You're Bron. So don't believe your own hype and stuff. So there's a lot going on with that. Hopefully, they're gonna have a match next week, and we'll see how that's gonna go. Well, Eric Bischoff has been in the news lately. Bischoff appeared on his podcast to talk about how Mercedes Moné tried to dismay WCW, saying that AEW is going to surpass WCW, which they're kind of close to on their way. But you ain't got to shed light on it like that with Nitro and everything else. But Bischoff said no one doesn't care about AEW. No one doesn't care about what's going on with AEW and WCW. So it was a lot on that going on and stuff. And we'll see. Well, CM Punk, speaking of that, CM Punk said that the only reason he came back to WWE because we know the elephant in the room, that Vince McMahon was no longer around. CM Punk was around Vince a little bit during the gym, but I guess you know how that go with Vince and everybody else. So hey, we get it, we got it good. So hey, also too um mentioned that Bianca Belair and Jade were in a segment with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and they pummeled them. I mean, Bianca and Jade at first got beat up, and then they came, made a comeback, and then they looked like they were strong, and like they picked them up with ease. And we know that next week on SmackDown, the WWE Women's Tag Team titles will be on the line as Jade and Bianca challenge um, Issa Rae and Ivory Dunn for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We'll see that coming up as well. So hey, we're gonna see how that's gonna go. Well, I guess that's gonna do it for the pro wrestling show here. We know that next week we got a lot. We're on the road to SummerSlam to go home show for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown as well NXT and the SummerSlam predict the outcome special will come on this weekend next weekend for SummerSlam for predict the outcome match previews and predictions as well as the review for after SummerSlam. Did the tribal chief Roman Reigns make his return? We're anticipating his long-awaited return ever since WrestleMania losing the championship. He was coming. You know Roman Reigns is going to be back sooner rather than later. He's coming back at SummerSlam, I believe. So we're going to have that as well. So we're going to leave you with Roman Reigns and this SummerSlam poster for predict the outcome. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Present the SmackDown Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.